me, Debbie Hilly. And you know I don't work on big dogs very often, but I can't pass up a chance to do a dog I really enjoy doing. Thank you so much. And these two are super sweet. This is one of the exceptions to my I never work on dirty dogs rule. I do work on strip dogs dirty, or even as we're going to do on these, a faux strip or a pet strip. And I'm going to show you what you need to do that. And working on the dirty hair just gives me more grip. It allows me to literally just pick and pull. If I had the time, I would pull this entire dog because it's just coming out like crazy. You need a good stiff brush to just run a real good, run it through and make sure there are no mats. There's a little bit in there. But I use a good stiff brush too because it'll help pull out some of the undercoat that's in her. Not a lot maybe, but some. And she lives at a plantation. I mean, she's actually in their house sometimes. She's got a brother too. But she is a hunting dog, and she's got straw and sticks and leaves and pine straw and everything else on her. So we want to brush through it real quick first, because you don't want to be pulling and trying to de-shed or whatever a matted up dog. Please don't sit down. This is only her third time being done, so I do have a rear loop on her. This is one of Colin Taylor's loops, and he does make two sizes. He makes a big one and a little one, but I only ever use my little one. I find it works really well even on the bigger dogs. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole dog because this is not about grooming a German wire hair. This is about faux stripping or pet stripping, stuff you can do in your salon. And the reason you want to do it is if I were to shave this dog down, she's going to change color. She's going to be pretty much all black, all brown. She'll lose her modeling. And on top of that, move my Dremel. On top of all of that, it loses its texture. It will get soft, and then it will even mat up more to make it harder to keep clean. So, after that real quick brush out, oops, we are good to go. Now, all you need, like I said, you need a good stiff brush, and it got out a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. And then I'm going to be using my Andis de-shedders, and this one is still available. The coarse one, the fine one is not available currently. Don't know if it ever will be or not. If you don't have one of these and you want something similar, a fine Coat King will do very similar work. I'm laying it on my table, but it is teeth down. And I'm going to go through it first in short, quick motions with my coarse. And I always try to follow the way the hair lays. See, that much already. And what this is going to do is it's going to pull out some of the really dead hair. Go ahead, you're good. It's going to pull out some of the really dead hair and some of the undercoat all at the same time, which will help preserve the texture and the color of this really rich, dark, coarse coat. And like I said before, working on them while they're dirty just gives me a little more grip. If you would try to do this after they're clean, you can. I find it to be harder because the hair follicle has gotten a little bit wet, and then it swells, and then it locks the hair in more. Some people say it does the exact opposite. My experience is working on them after they're clean is harder for me and the dog. See, I'm getting out handfuls of hair from the coarser areas. Now she does have some. I want to make sure I had the girl. I was pretty sure I did. So you can't tell me you haven't all done that. Anyway, don't do that. She's got some softer areas in the middle of her back, probably because she's been spayed. But we're trying to avoid a spay coat where she turns solid brown and gets really soft. So I don't tend to pull the coat tight when I'm doing the Andis comb or the Andis de-shedders. I will if I'm stripping. I don't with these. I use these like a brush. You can pull it tight, but on her it's really hard to do, and it's not really helping. So I'm going two directions. If you noticed, I went down her back. Now when I get up here, she's got some rolls of fat. She's a chunky girl. I will stretch that. But then after going down, and you start to not get as much, then I start to come down towards the table, doing it crossways. Some people don't like that technique. That's what I do, and it works really well for me. I do a number of these faux strips or pet strips. These people want the look, but don't want to pay. And I honestly don't have the time to sit here. I'd have to do one dog a day if I did this, and it would cost them $200. And my clientele is just not going to do that. So, whoops, under here as well. Make sure you muck it out real good. That's all I'm doing with this, is I'm mucking it out. And I always start with the coarse one because it's going to pull out a lot of loose gunk. Now, in that short a period of time, I have gotten out a good handful of hair. Let's see from this side. Let's get your neck over here. Okay, I had to switch cameras because it cut off on me for some reason on the other phone. I'm not sure why. But we have switched from the course, after I've done the entire dog with the course, to the Andis fine. Now, if you don't have a fine, and like I said, they're hard to get, you can use a Coat King. I don't own a Coat King anymore because I have these. I have actually got extras of these in case there was a problem with me getting them. But you're going to use it in the exact same fashion that you used the other. Now, I've already done this side of her, and the camera just shut off, and I didn't realize it. So I didn't get much. But you can see it's pulling out more as well. Even though I've already done that side, it's going to pull out some more. I was starting on this side when I realized the camera wasn't running anymore. But you comb through it just like a brush. It does require a little more pressure, but you have to be careful you don't brush burn or scrape the dogs. They do have little hooks on them, and those hooks are kind of sharp. I've cut myself with this. I've never cut a dog with it. Knock on wood. So you just want to be careful. Don't push too hard. Push enough to get out hair, but not enough to get down, into the skin. You want to get to the skin, but not into the skin. I hope that makes sense. If you use it too hard, you will brush burn the dog, and then you will have a problem. Now, like I said before, I could probably sit here for hours, just hours, and work on this dog and pull and pull and pull, and it would be beautiful, and then she'd go run in the woods and go in the swamp, and it would be over. So anyway, after you've mucked out as much hair as you can get out with your tools, and I will work on her neck a little bit later where her collar sits. I don't like the way it's pulling right now. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is take my Volt, and I'm using a Zolita 30 wide, and this is one that is actually made for the snap-on combs. It's a little funny shape, but it's made exactly for the snap-ons. And then this is a master cut wide, but I'm going to tell you the truth. It doesn't really matter what brand you get. Just get yourself wide blades and wide combs. They will save you a ton of time. So anyway, I know. Oh, thank you. I love this dog. You're going to take this snap-on, and this is the 3/8, and watch what it does. It is going to pull all of the long, really fuzzy hair off. And it's going to look as if you had stripped it out. It's going to look like it grew this way, and it's very natural. It's also going to preserve the texture. The reason it's going to do that is because the texture is actually in the longer hair, and you're not cutting it all off. If I were to take a blade to this, I would cut all of this down into nothing but the soft undercoat, and she would be very soft and fuzzy looking. This allows her to stay looking as if she was hand stripped. Now, just because I'm using a 3/8 doesn't mean you will use a 3/8. And it doesn't mean I'd use that same comb on every dog I do this to. It will vary depending on what I'm doing. I have a couple of cairns that I use a 1-inch comb on. And I get similar appearances, similar looks. I do the same thing on Westies. I do the same thing on some Schnauzers that have the wirier coats. I even do this on sporting dogs. Like I get Brittany's in, I've got some Springers that come in, and yes, I realize I'm working on a gun dog, but still, that's not my point. All right, we'll shave under there. We're not under her tail, so we'll shave it. But all this is really doing is pulling off the longer, straggly, flyaway. I guess that's a good word. And making them look neater. And that's what he wanted. He wanted them to look neater, but still look like the breed. So, that's the solution to that problem right there. Hey, you're pulling. I don't like it when you pull. It upsets me. Don't do that. Thank you. That's better. Can I get you to come back on the table some? There you go. Hasn't been done but a couple of times, even though she's way older than I like to do like this. But I'm not going to mess with her head until after her bath, but it'll get done the similar way. I will muck it out, and then I will shape it the way it's supposed to be shaped. So, it's simple. It doesn't take much time. And like I said, I like to do it before the bath, simply because it gives me more grip, I think. She does not like her legs touched. And that's okay too. That's okay too. Now the only sanitary work I'm going to do is under her tail. I don't really like to do a whole lot of belly work on these dogs. I'll check and see after her bath if she's matted or not, but under her tail she does have some knots. So I just put a 10 wide on there and went to town. So, does that make sense to everybody? Super simple. It's called a faux strip, and you can do it on any kind of dog with a coarse coat. Like I said, I do it on Westies, I do it on Schnauzers, I do it on Cocker Spaniels, Springers, Brittany's, German Wires, all the above. It's fun. It's different. It breaks the Shih Tzu routine. Not that there's anything wrong with Shih Tzus, but it does get tiring doing nothing but Shih Tzus all day. And yesterday, I had 10 Yorkies. 10 Yorkies. At one point, I was asking my son, who is who? Which one is this? Because I can't remember. All right, I'm going to get her off the table because I think she has said her day is up with this. And we will talk to you next time. Girlfriend, I got to go turn the camera off. I can't turn it off from over here. I'm on the wrong side to do that. You have to wait just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Talk to you next time. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to finish these guys up. Well, this guy, I'm not going to show you on the other one because it's the same technique. He's had a bath, and he's been dried, and I've got all my tools out that I think I'm going to need. And as you can see, he's got some hair that's still sticking out. And I'm going to take, well, can I get you to turn your head that way? I don't want to push you. I want you to move it on your own. Good boy. There you go. I'm going to take a carding knife and just try to pull some of the extra hair And you can do this in your shop. You don't have to be a carding specialist or a stripping specialist to maintain a coat like this. This is an easy coat to deal with. Now, the carding coat, yeah, sure, Debbie. The carding knife that I'm using is a Mickey. Yep, M-I-K-I. I got mine from Ireland. I know they're for sale in the U.S. somewhere, but I got mine from Ireland. A friend of mine sent them to me. And as you can see, this just makes it lay flatter. Now, if for some reason you don't have a carding knife, you should probably get one. But if you don't, then it's easy enough to finish them up with the fine Andesty shedder. And the carding knife is going to pull more out. See, this is not really getting anything. But that's okay. Because once you've gotten out as much undercoat as you think you can get out to make it lay flat and make it pretty, he wants to see what I'm doing. He's a little bit nosy. Then, there it is. It's on my stool. You take the same snap-on and the same blade and go over them again, just to finish them off. Settle down. And they stay scruffy, which is why this is a great one to do a faux strip on. Even if you don't strip, you can do a faux strip on a German wire hair easily in a shop. I think on my table he will have spent about 30 minutes total, if that. Maybe not even that much. And yet I have a really natural looking, nicely finished coat when I'm done. He's a very nosy dog, like I said. He wants to see everything. He wants to know where my hands are and what I'm doing. Everything. But you, again, are going to follow the way the hair lays, and on him it goes that way, which is kind of neat because then you can just do a straight line. And on his hips, it goes down and then this way. So just follow the way the hair goes. Easy enough to do. I don't want to take the loop off because I'm afraid he'll bail if I do. Now when I get under here, I go backwards. And the face is essentially a tight schnauzer face with a beard. You take the cheeks, you take the top of the head off, you take the ears down. I'm not taking the ears way down because this dog doesn't get done enough to be used to that. But I'm using the same comb. Well, that was silly. I don't know why you did that. There was absolutely no reason for that. None at all. Okay. And as you can see, that's all the touch-up there really is to do. And then I'll take my curved chunkers, because they're the first pair I came to, and just catch any hairs that are still sticking up after going over with the comb. You're going to step off that table again. I wish you wouldn't. No, let me get your tail finished. Because it doesn't need much. You just have to be in my face. That's the whole thing. You just want to be in my face. You're a sweet boy. Usually I have a turntable on my table with all my equipment in it, and right now it's not there because I'm afraid he'd knock it off. So finding the stuff I'm looking for is not that easy. And I'm going to separate eyebrows. Put eyebrows on him. And not long ones. They don't get long eyebrows. You know, his dad did want more eyebrows than normal. Edge the ears. And he's done. So when people tell me that they don't have time to hand strip in their salons, I'm like, yeah, you probably do. If you're doing pet grooming, you can take some shortcuts. I know some people out there who actually do hand stripping a lot are going to say this is cheating. It is. But the owner doesn't know the difference really, and it's not hurting the dog. In fact, if anything, it's helping the dog that's not used to being on the table to get done in a way that looks like his breed and makes him happy-ish. And I have to say happy-ish because I don't think he's very happy about much of anything about being here. But he's getting done relatively quickly, which is good for him because it means he's not stressed any more than he has to be. You're the one pushing. And then you just touch up anything you see, like under arms and stuff like that. But it's really not that hard to do. And like I said, this is the result. I have a beautifully layered, harsh coat that's laying perfectly and feels amazing. And I have a happy dog. Yes, I do. I have a happy dog. All he wants to do is right there. What you doing, huh? Oh, thank you, Cabby. You tried to give me your foot. I just wasn't ready for that. Okay, give me your foot. Good boy. That's a good boy. And I'll put him up and get his sister out and finish her. But as you can see, it took no time to finish. So I think I have about 20 minutes of my time on this table. And then, of course, the bath and the drying. So charge a hefty price for this too. You can always charge more for this type of work than you can for a simple shave down. It takes more time, it takes more skill. Have a good day.